For this episode, we're going to be doing another kind of dig to the iron circle here. We dug out a 200 some radius or 200 some diameter circle for our iron farm here, just to give it a bit of a different look compared to our standard square perimeters that we have on the server so far. So a little bit different than this. I need to actually, different circle or the different shapes can like add to the world, so we don't have to have a bunch of, squares or rectangles like this across the world. We can have a different shape. So we have a circle so far, and we're going to do something a little bit different for this one here. So this is going to be our furnace, right? Obviously, if you cannot tell by the banners and the theme we got going on here. So we have campfire light sources up top, and then we have just some random blocks that I showed all our standard piston bolts. We have a 2 on the bottom, and then a return on the top here, which apparently has a pigment in it. But yeah, it's really not that far. You really don't need one, but all our areas right here are like designed to fit a piston bolt. So that's kind of the reason that we're going with that. Kind of like the same thing over here with the Luden Witch Farm. You can see that this really doesn't need a piston bolt either, but just to fit it in, we went with that. So let's see what we can do, and we'll go to the perimeter right now. Alright, so going to the perimeter, we are kind of a bit of a ways into the dig already, but this time we did do a multiplayer dig sort, so we don't have to worry about losing items or anything, but you can see that we have quite a bit of stone already. Like andesite, granite, all those kind of blocks. Not too much grass and dirt, honestly, compared to the last one. We were at a bit of a different area, so a bit of gravel, a bit of sand actually. I'm surprised we actually got a full shulker box of sand. We got some good iron ore so far, a bit of coal. Pretty much most of these ores are from the last one, the last dig, especially the diamonds, because of we needed to do the filters, so I just brought everything. Basically, I brought all these ones that we need here for the big filters. These we just got random from the dig itself, and we just brought that over and set the filters up that way. This is our overflow. So we have that. Just throw it back into the system. You can flip that lever, and then that will go and get unloaded again. And hopefully that will give us the stone out of the shulker box there, which I don't think was built up correctly. That should have got redispensed, unless something got destroyed for some reason. Yeah, okay, so someone turned this off. Like I said, quite some time has been spent here already. You can see the dig is already down to, we're about Y16 right now. So we've got not much left to go, honestly, only like 10, 11 layers until we're at the top of bedrock, and we're good to go for decoration. So that'll probably get done this episode too. So yeah, not too far to go. You can see we're pretty much almost at the area where we need to actually start loading everything into shulker boxes and moving it up ourselves, because the water streams will get cut off. So yeah, not much lava in this area so far. We've already gone through a whole ravine right here. Basically, you can see that's the main remainder of the ravine. And there was a bit of a mine shaft over here. You can see that it gets cut off a bit. Yeah, there was a bit of an area right around this corner here. Bit of a mine shaft, but all in all, it's not too bad compared to the circle. You can see it's like a bit smaller, especially in the corners here where these are cut off. So it's a bit easier. We'll continue this. We'll get a time lapse maybe of like the final layers, and then we'll start the decoration.
we go.
Invincible.
Alright, so the full dig has been completed. It wasn't as big as the circle like I said, so it did not take as long. I would say it took a little bit longer because I had COVID, so the first few days not much really happened, sadly, but it's still done pretty quick, still under a week technically, if you count the, or if you like don't count the first 2-3 days. It was like 4 or 5 days, and this thing was completely dug out. Dig is done. I got up to, let's see, stat, digs total. I got up to 4.2 million, which is pretty good. So yeah, I did quite a bit myself, and some of the members on the server now, so that also helped as well. They both got like between themselves 175,000, which also was pretty good to help. But yes, let's go. So we have the full thing done. We're starting on the floor decoration right now, as you can see. I started doing the red. Oh, I did pretty much the yellow, orange, and yeah, yellow and orange. I did that last night, and then I guess one of the other members started doing the black. There's still a bit more black to add, but it's gonna look pretty cool in the end. But yeah, so up top here, you can see. These aren't the exact numbers because obviously this we didn't get this many diamonds in this small area. We needed to add the filters and everything, so I did have to bring quite some things over. But yeah, so all the coal ore is what we actually got. So 8 of coal, 5 of iron, not really much sand. Okay amount of gravel actually. Dirt is actually pretty high, honestly. Like that's pretty good dirt. Grass, not too much. Andesite a bit low. Diorite's a bit, they're actually all kind of the same amount, but a bit more diorite this time around. But stone is through the roof. We got quite a bit. You didn't even fill the first slice. But yeah, this will be used for repeaters, comparators, things like that. That's the reason why we're keeping the stone at these digs. They just kind of are useful in the end. We don't need to smelt any stone for other things we would need. But yeah, you couldn't tell by that title right there of the waypoint, it is going to be a furnace array. This will smelt about 500,000 items an hour, and it'll be pretty easy to do, which is why we're going with this. And you can see just how cool this looks already on the voxel map here. And hopefully we can get this done. And yeah, we'll probably end the episode off there. We'll build the furnace array in its own episode, and yeah. So this is turning out quite good. Probably get rid of this dig sort at some point. A lot of things I gotta remove. There's a bunch of shulkers here that are in the back for loading up, and that's gotta get removed. Filters obviously are pretty big. Yeah, honestly, dig sorts are pretty good. So if you ever dig out a perimeter or even just a small dig, I say small, but it's still pretty big. Yeah, they are definitely useful for automatically sorting everything for you. You don't have to do anything yourself. So yeah, let's get back to decoration, and we'll come back once it's completely done. Alright, so the decoration is completed. Everything is done for this perimeter besides the actual furnace array. So yeah, let's go take a look at the decoration. You probably already saw from the thumbnail because that's what I do, because it you know, it's good. But yeah, so this one a little bit different here. Pentagon shape, you know, a little different shape of the decoration. Obviously, we did it with the circle over here. We did a very different weird design compared to our other decorations that we have like this, where it's just a repeated pattern across the whole square. Probably going to change that up in the future and do a different design in and of itself. But yeah, look at that map right here. This is what our decoration is. Chip of Pentagon is a Pentagon actually in the center as well, so Pentagon outside with the Pentagon inside. It is pretty cool. So yeah, let's take a look at it without the map here. And you can see it's a bit of a small scale, so the blocks are kind of, they stand out a little bit. But if we go out and like up a little bit higher, it does look a bit better, especially in picture form. So yeah, that's that. And then put shaders on here. You can see it in shaders. Obviously, you don't really like the shadows there, but that's the best one it can get right there without the shadows. So we got the perimeter here. So obviously with black walls again, it just focuses your eyes down to the floor, which is I think is really good for this design here, because that's the actual main focus of the perimeter. And you can't tell with my texture pack on, because I have made invisible glass, but there is actually a glass block here. If we break it, you can see that it highlights in glass. I just have a very invisible regular glass texture, but yeah, besides that, that's everything. A few shulker boxes that Rim has left on the floor because of the glass we just put in it. Yeah, it's around 22,000-ish glass per the layer, so it was about 1.3 million-ish blocks mined out in this perimeter if you go from about Y60, which is what was the most flat area. So yeah, this perimeter is done, which, you know, also I'm going to say one of my coolest looking perimeters so far. The floor deco is just crazy. The designs just look really cool, and I think that these various shape perimeters will probably become a normal for us, whether it's digging out like this, or like a circle, or maybe like I have some other ones playing like an octagon and a hexagon. I want to do those next because I think those will look cool. But yeah, maybe a snowflake for the snow farm or the ice farm. Some varied things going through my head, but it takes quite a bit to execute and even just to dig out. Granted, we did dig this full thing out in about 5 days IRL time, so it didn't take too long at all. But yeah, this is about like a week and a half for this one, and then about like half a week, a bit over half a week for this one. So you can see the drastic amount difference between those two, but they do look very cool on the map. And with the furnace array in here, obviously this dig sort will go. I'm gonna put the actual furnace array there, which will be built in the next episode. But yeah, other than that, perimeter looks pretty cool, and I can't wait to actually get the furnace array and make it useful here. So yeah, like, subscribe, all those sorts of things, and I'll see you in the next one.